And now we'll begin our breathing practice. You'll have 3 options for setting up. The first one, you can take your blanket and put it at the head of your mat, like I'm doing, and then lie down so that your head is comfortable on the blanket, but your shoulders are off the blanket. Your forehead should be higher than your chin. The second option is where Jay has 2 blocks, one sitting underneath his shoulder blades to support the back of the lungs, and the other behind his head. And the third option, Sylvia has 2 blankets rolled in long triangles. She's sitting at the very front of the blanket and then lying back so it's supporting her spine. There's a little roundness holding the back of her neck, and she can release her entire spine. Once you get comfortable, begin to observe your breath. Place your hand where you feel the most movement from your inhalation. And then begin to observe where you're feeling less movement. And take your hand and place it there. Some place where you'd like to open or draw the breath. Now we'll begin belly breathing, so place both hands on your tummy, and as you inhale, let the belly expand into your hands, and as you exhale, let the navel draw down towards your spine. Feel your inhalation as receiving, and your exhalation as strengthening. As you inhale, let the body fill with the breath, and as you exhale, feel yourself strengthening and toning. Inhale to expand, and exhale to strengthen. Let your breath be long and smooth, filling the belly completely and emptying totally. And now we'll move to chest breathing. So place your hands on your collarbones, and as you inhale, expand the belly. And as you exhale, draw the navel toward the spine and lift it slightly under the rib cage. Holding this toning in the tummy, inhale and expand the upper chest. As you exhale, the navel will come closer to the spine. As you inhale, you'll hold that and breathe into the upper chest. So we're practicing drawing the breath into the upper regions of the lungs without very much movement in the lower belly. As we grow in the practice, we'll begin to know this as Uddiyana Bandha. For now, we're just thinking about it as chest breathing. Inhaling to expand through the collarbones, and exhaling, toning the tummy. Now you can place your hands by your sides and go back to natural breathing, and notice if you feel any shifts in the body. Don't try to change anything or do anything contrived with your breath. Just observe what it is. See if you feel more balance between the upper and lower portions of the body. Notice your relationship to your breath and the expanding and contracting quality of your total breath. And now place your hands on your belly and notice the quality of the lift and fall. When we work in between belly and chest breathing, we allow the diaphragm to stretch, and on the inhale, we can feel it move deeper into the organs toward the navel, and when we exhale, it settles more completely up into the rib cage. So by balancing our breath from chest to belly, we get an overall expansion of inhalation and exhalation. Lie here for a few more minutes and enjoy the quality of your breath. Now release your arms by your sides. And slowly, as you're ready, prepare to come up. and return to a comfortable cross-legged position. And now lie on your back. Have your strap by your side, and we'll begin our hip and hamstring opening section. Begin to draw your right knee into your chest and give it a hug. And as you do that, reach clearly through your left foot. Feel the balance between the hugging in of the right knee and the extension of the left leg. As you inhale, push the knee into your hand, making space between your belly and thigh. And as you exhale, hug it in deeper, pressing the breath out of the body. Inhale, expand, and exhale and contract. Slowly rocking open the hip, making space in the joint. Being sure to counter your right leg with your left, so extending that leg on the floor as much as you can. And then on your next breath, switch legs, hugging your left knee into your chest as you exhale. And then when you inhale, press the knee into the hand, making space. And again, being aware of countering your left leg with the extension of your right. Slowly and gently rocking open the hip. Always making movements on your breath. As you exhale, the knee will come closer to the chest as it presses against the lower belly. And as you inhale, the belly will expand and press the knee away. And now switch legs again. And this time you're going to reach for your strap and place it over the sole of your foot and extend your foot toward the sky. Again, there's a relationship between your left and right legs, so extend through the left leg as you reach up through the right, flexing both feet. Begin to feel the thigh bone of your right leg pressing toward the front edge of the mat to make a little more space in the hip joint. Breathe into that deep release of your hamstring. You can soften your knee a little bit and extend even more dearly up toward the ceiling as if your heel is being received by space and drawn up into the clouds. Now place both straps into your right hand. Keep stretching through your left leg as you reach out to the right. So there's a clear relationship meeting at the arc of your pelvis as you stretch from the left leg all the way out to the right. You can place your left hand on your thigh to anchor that leg if you need some more help, as I'm doing here. Keep reaching through both heels and feeling the connection right at the pelvis. Remembering to breathe, as this can be quite a painful stretch. Opening the hamstrings is not easy for anyone. We'll take the leg up and switch hands, and now let the leg cross the body. Take your right thumb and place it into the hip crease and make more length on the right side, so you're rolling your sitting bone away from the chest, away from the armpit. Pushing clearly through both heels and expanding through the waistline. This is one of the more difficult stretches, so you might feel a strong amount of pain in your knee or the outside of your hip, and just breathe through it and be gentle with yourself. This is a wonderful stretch to release sciatica, so be with it. Find exactly where the center of your discomfort is and breathe deeply into that space, remembering the receiving aspect of your inhalation and the strengthening of your exhale. Now slowly bring the leg up to center, and then bend the knee, release the strap. And notice here that your right leg is longer than your left, so that's a little incentive to keep doing these stretches. You're growing taller. And then slowly bend the left knee into your chest and place the strap over your foot. Extend the heel toward the ceiling and reach clearly through your right leg. In yoga, we're finding our integration, our relationship between our limbs and our spine. We're finding our core again. So feel the connection from left to right. You're not just stretching the left leg up toward the ceiling, but it is in some continuity with the right leg. Sense, feel, or imagine this connection. Remembering to press your left thigh bone toward the front edge of the mat to make more space in your joint. And trying not to pull on too tight with the strap so you're not jamming your ankle. It's just there to guide the foot. Now put the strap into your left hand, and as you extend the leg out to the left, remember to reach through the right leg. You can place your hand on your hip to help keep that hip anchored toward the floor. Feeling one long energetic connection from one foot to the other. Remembering to breathe. Inhale to expand, and exhale to strengthen. Taking the leg up, switching hands. Then take your left thumb and place it into the left hip crease and roll the hip away from your body, making space on the left side. And slowly extending the leg over. Don't go too far. If you go too far across the body, you'll actually miss the stretch in the outside of the leg. You might even begin to feel this stretch coming from the middle of your back, and that really helps the release of the sciatica. Opening the gluteal muscles, the outer thigh, and the outside of the knee. Reach clearly through both heels, and relax into this stretch. On your next inhalation, take the leg back up to center and release. Extend both legs out and notice how you're feeling. Notice the relationship between your upper and lower body. So your lower body might feel less tense, more connected, more in relationship to the earth. And now slowly draw your knees into your chest. And we're going to rock along the spine, rocking from head to tail. Your bony spine contains the long, slender, eel-like spinal cord. And as we rock from head to tail, we're actually stimulating our spinal nerves to stimulate the body for the more vigorous vinyasa part of the practice. So try to get some momentum from head to tail, going slowly, observing the tighter parts of your back and respecting that. You might rest into that a little more deeply, as you can see Jay doing. And then slowly rock yourself up to seated position. Coming onto your hands and knees for cat-cow pose. Make sure your hands are under your shoulders and your knees under your hips. Tuck your toes under, and on an inhalation, lift the chest and let the shoulder blades ride down the back. And then as you exhale, release your feet, pressing into your hands around the spine toward the ceiling. As you inhale, feel the expansion. And as you exhale, feel the navel moving into the spine, contracting, rounding. Let the collarbones lift up toward your chin and your sitting bones drop back. So those two pieces counter each other on the inhale. And then they draw closer to each other as we exhale and come into frightened cat. The tailbone and the heart meeting at the center. And then moving away from each other as we move into cat pose. Allow a little softening between the shoulder blades so the heart can open more in this pose. And then feel the shoulder blades rounding up toward the ceiling as you exhale into frightened cat. Always moving on your breath. With your next exhalation, press into your hands, and from your hands, reach up into your tailbone into downward dog. Let your knees soften some so you're releasing your hamstrings, and then take your tailbone higher up toward the sky. Holding that rotation in the pelvis, straighten the legs as you press your heels toward the floor and lift the toes off the earth. Let the head hang like a ripe fruit. And then bring your right foot forward and your left, bowing deeply. From the press of your feet, inhale, take the arms up. And exhale, arms by your sides, Tadasana pose. And now standing at the front of your mat in Tadasana, look down at your feet. If you look at the feet of myself and Jay, you might notice that the right toes are turned out a little bit. That indicates some kind of a misalignment in the lower back on the right side. So draw your toes in and your heels apart to realign the pelvis. Now take your left hand to your lower abdomen right below the navel and your right hand to your lower back. We're going to balance these 2 points throughout the class. So I'm going to ask you to lift your lower navel up and lengthen your tailbone simultaneously. You'll feel a slight hollowing in the tummy when you do that, but a distinct drawing into the core. Holding all that, inhale and reach the arms up. As you exhale, bring the arms by your sides. When you inhale, you're going to take the arms up from the press in your feet, the lift of the belly, and the extension of the fingertips, feeling that integration and connection from the tips of your toes to the tips of your fingers. On your next exhalation, extend out, reaching the arms forward and bowing deeply. On an inhale, roll up to the tips of your fingers, much like you did in cow pose. And then as you exhale, bend the knees and flatten the palms. Bring your chin to your chest like you did in frightened cat. Press from your feet, through the knees, through the hips, up to the fingertips, rising toward the sky. And then as you exhale, release the arms by your sides. It's a simple sun salutation. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, diving forward, reaching your hips away from your heart. On an inhalation, come up to fingertips, extending the spine, drawing the hips back. And then as you exhale, bend the knees deeply, sitting back into your hips, trying to flatten the palms. Make sure you're not taking all the pressure into your knees, but letting the hips drop back as well. On your next inhale, take the arms up. And as you exhale, bring your arms by your sides. Feeling your feet reach into the earth and your arms stretch up for the sky. Exhale, diving forward. And inhale, extending out, rolling to the tips of your fingers. Now, if your hands don't touch the floor, you'll notice that Taylor is using blocks. You want to make sure the legs are straight in that pose. And then exhale and round, just like frightened cat. And inhale, extending up. Exhale, arms by your sides. Checking your feet again for Tadasana, and then inhale, stretching up. And exhale, diving forward. Rolling up to the tips of your fingers, legs are straight. You might notice that Jay is using his shins to balance that pose. Bending at the knees, dropping the hips. And then stepping your left leg back for lunge. Opening through the heart. And then flatten the palms. Then reach your right leg back to meet your left for downward dog. Be sure to let the head drop and the sitting bones to rise tall. On an inhale, sliding forward into plank position. And as you exhale, drop to your knees, pause there, and then draw your chest forward, bring the chest and chin toward the floor. This Stretch through the legs, opening the heart, cobra pose. And then exhale, curling the toes, reaching up through your sitting bones, downward dog. On your next inhalation, take the left foot forward, lifting the heart. And then take the right foot forward, exhale and bow deeply. Bring your chin to your chest and your chest toward the knees. On an inhale, press into your feet, rising up. And as you exhale, bring your arms by your sides. And now inhale, take the arms up. And exhale, bowing forward. Inhale, extend the spine, opening into cow pose. And exhale, bend the knees, flattening the palms, frightened cat. On your next inhalation, take the right foot way back, lift the heart. And as you exhale, press back into downward dog. Keep trying to find that connection from your hands up into your tail and your tail down to your heels. If you need to, soften the knees to get a little more extension in the spine, but then remembering to straighten the legs. Inhale, coming forward to plank position, and then exhale, drop your knees and pause. Draw the chest forward, bringing the chin to the floor. Pull with your hands, reach with the chest for cobra pose. The legs are strong here. Now recurl the toes and reach up into downward dog. On an inhale, taking your right foot forward, and then your left, and exhale and bow. Inhale, raise the arms up, and exhale, arms by your sides. Inhale, coming up for round 2, and exhale, bowing forward. Inhale, extend the spine. You can take a look at Taylor here and notice how she's modifying with the blocks. Taking the left leg back, lifting the heart, and coming into warrior 1. So the back foot's going to be down here. Taylor just stepped her left foot out to the side a little bit so that it's more easy to square the hips. So we draw our left hip forward and our right sitting bone back. There's balance between the hip bones. Then lengthen your tail, lift the tummy, and slowly begin to descend the right thigh down. We want the knee essentially to rest right in the ankle. Then lift the heart and inhale, extend the arms up. It's not necessary to bring the palms together as we can see in Taylor's pose until the shoulders are open and ready for it. Remember to breathe, lifting the chest, and then exhale, bowing forward, returning to downward dog. Taking a few breaths here. Inhale, sliding forward into plank position, and exhale, knees, chest, and chin. Feel the strength building in the back of the arms as you pull forward into cobra, and then reach back into downward dog. So we're learning the art of a pull and a reach in the sun salutation. With your next inhalation, take your left foot forward. Notice how Taylor helps herself and brings the leg forward if it doesn't get there smoothly. Both legs are straight so that you can lengthen your tailbone and lift the tummy easily, and then square the hips, bringing the right hip forward and the left sitting bone back. Holding that rotation in the pelvis, begin to descend your front thigh, reaching it away from the back heel. The back heel is very grounded. Inhale, take the arms up, lifting through the heart. Continue to feel the balance between the front and back foot and the lift up through the back of the heart. Breath is smooth and easy, receiving and strengthening. Exhale, bowing forward. Take your back foot to the front of the mat and bow deeply. Inhale, pressing from your feet to the tips of your fingers, the belly lifts, and exhale, arms by your sides. Once again, pressing from your feet, stretching up, and exhale, bowing deeply. Using the blocks if you need to inhale and extend the spine so the legs can remain straight here, or you can hold your calves just like Jay is doing. Exhale, bend the knees, flatten the palms. Inhale, take your right foot way back. The foot is flat there, straighten both legs. Feel all those wonderful rotations in your pelvis, long tailbone, lifting in the tummy, taking your back hip forward, rotating so that both sitting bones are facing straight ahead, and then descend the front thigh. Notice I never say bend the knee. I prefer that you move from your hip joint, so drop at the hip. When you're ready, inhale, take the arms up. More important for now to get the hip placement correct, and then let the arms come up just like the cherry on the cake. Last thing to be done. Keep descending the thigh to lunge forward, and then reach back into downward dog. Again, finding your hands to tail and tail to heels. Taking a few chest breaths here. Feeling the strength build. And then slowly coming forward into a plank position. Exhale, lower to your knees, and then chest and chin. Your sitting bones are high in the air, your shoulders are away from the floor. Pull with the hands, reach with your tail, cobra pose, and then recurl the toes, reaching the tail up toward the sky, feeling that push into downward dog. Take your right foot forward, left foot down for the other side. Long tailbone, lift in the tummy. Remember, it's okay to adjust the back foot so that you can square the hips easily, and then descend the front thigh. Lifting up through the heart, and then extend the arms out to the sides and up, feeling that full rotation in the shoulders. Yoga is very much about bringing sensation back into the body, so take your time in every pose to feel and experience what's happening. We want to reconnect and reintegrate. Move slowly and more centrally. Descend the front thigh, and then take your back foot forward, bowing deeply, exhaling, and then inhale, reaching up, and exhale, hands to prayer. You've now completed the sun salutations. And now we'll move into the vinyasa part of our practice. Make sure your feet are in Tadasana, big toes are in, and heels are slightly apart. The belly is lifted and the tailbone is long. Your breath is smooth and steady. And on your next inhalation, lift the arms, and as you exhale, bowing forward. Inhale to extend the spine, finding your cow pose, reaching from the collarbones to the hips. And then exhale, bend the knees, flattening the palms into frightened cat. On an inhale, take your left foot back, coming into warrior one, step by step, lengthening the tailbone, rotating the hips. Descend the thigh, and then opening the heart. Feeling each of those movements as individual poses on their own. And then feeling your midsection, engaging at the navel, and on your next inhale, from your navel space, open up into warrior two. You might need to adjust your back foot to feel a steady balance so the front foot, the heel of the front foot matches the arch of the back foot. On your next exhalation, you can spiral down into downward dog. Feeling that hands to tail connection and being sure to let go of the head completely. Inhale, shifting forward to a plank position. And then exhale, lowering to knees, chest, and chin. Feel the strength of your arms as you move forward into cobra. And then feel the pull of the legs as you move into downward dog. And now take your left foot forward, turning the right foot down, and coming into Warrior One, step by step. The length of the tail, the rotation of the hips, the dropping of the front thigh, and the opening of the heart. When done well, this is one of the most graceful poses. In your next inhale, opening up into Warrior Two, and then spiraling to the floor, take your back foot forward, exhale, and bow deeply. Inhale, pressing from your feet, reaching up. And exhale, arms by your sides. On an inhalation, raising the arms up, and exhale, bowing deeply from the hips. Inhale to extend the spine, and exhale, bend the knees, flatten the palms. On an inhalation, take the left foot back, moving into Warrior One. Remembering to breathe in as you open the heart. And exhaling, moving from the waistline into Warrior Two. Straighten your front leg and take your right hand into your hip crease to deepen the right hip as you lower down into triangle pose. Don't worry too much where your right hand lands. It could be on the floor, it could be on the block as we see with Taylor, or on your shin as we see with Jay. Just find that comfortable place, and then from there, extend up through the left arm so that there's a continuity between your right hand and your left. As you exhale, roll over the heart and move back into Downward Dog. Inhale, sliding forward into a plank position, and exhale, lowering knees, chest and chin. And now your arms are getting nice and strong as you pull yourself through into Cobra pose, and then feel the pull of the legs back into Downward Dog. Inhale, drawing the left leg forward, right foot down, Warrior One. Even the spirals here are getting easier as your body warms up, is more accepting of the poses. Opening from the waistline into Warrior Two, remembering to descend the front thigh so the knee really does rest into the ankle. Now what you'll see on this side is that I draw my left sitting bone way back behind me to help open the hip. So I draw the sitting bone back to strengthen my back leg, and from there I rotate the left sitting bone under the body. When the hip is tight, we'll see what we see in Jay's pose, where it's not so easy to take the sitting bone underneath the body, so the sitting bones are way back behind you in the pose. Now turn, reach to the floor, and take your back foot forward. Press into the feet and inhale, rising the arms up. And exhale, arms by your sides, Tadasana. And on your next inhalation, taking the arms up, and exhale, bowing forward. Inhale to extend the spine, and exhale, bend the knees, flatten the palms. This should be getting easier. Taking your left foot back, setting up for Warrior One, step by step. Inhaling to open the heart. And exhaling, opening up into Warrior Two. Be sure to descend the front thigh, making the knee rest into the ankle, and then reach back. Taking your left hand to the back of the leg, right arm over the ear. Keep drawing the right thigh bone forward. Pressing into your back foot, coming up for modified Parsvakonasana. Here you can rest your right elbow on the thigh, left arm over the ear, and even use that right arm to push the thigh back so the knee stays over the ankle. On your next inhale, coming up to Warrior Two, and then once again reaching back into Proud Warrior. Here we're going to turn from the heart, centering the pose a little bit more, and then reaching down to the floor, deepening Parsvakonasana for the full pose. You can do any one of the 3 variations you see here, resting your hand on the block, resting your elbow on the thigh, or bringing your right fingertips to the floor. Now turning, rolling over the heart, and coming into downward dog. Inhale, sliding into plank position, and exhaling, knees, chest, and chin. Strong pull with the hands, coming into a higher cobra now. You're balancing just on the navel, and then pull with the legs, downward dog. Take your left foot forward, turn the right foot down, and moving into warrior 1. As your hips are becoming more open, you can step your back foot further away from your front foot, widening the pose so that you can deepen and again rest the front knee right above the ankle. Opening up into warrior 2, descending the front thigh, reaching into the back foot. And then slowly bowing back, taking your hand to the back of the thigh, making sure not to press against the thigh. And then coming forward into modified Parsvakonasana. Try not to collapse into the front leg, but be a little bit buoyant as you push the arm against the leg. That'll give you the rebound to come back up into warrior 2, and then once again stretching back into a deeper proud warrior. Press into your back foot, coming up, and then again coming into modified Parsvakonasana. Notice again I'm taking my left sitting bone back to strengthen my back leg, and then from there rotating the left sitting bone under and opening through the heart. And now turning over the heart, taking your back foot forward. You're at the front of the mat. Exhale and bow deeply. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, arms by your sides. And inhale, bring the hands behind your back, opening the chest. And then step the left foot back. Slowly descending the front thigh, sliding the knuckles down the back of your leg to get a deeper heart opener here. And then keeping the front leg bent as you descend forward, bring the crown of the head toward the floor. And you can do any one of the variations you see, either interlocking the fingers or holding opposite elbows. And then place your hands to the floor. Step your left foot a little further back, and then either lower down to your elbows. Put your elbows on a block. You can keep your back leg extended or drop the knee to the floor. And if your right leg is veering out to the side, just take your arm and wrap it along the side of the leg and pull it into your midline for a deeper hip stretch. Then coming up, straightening the front leg, stepping to the front of the mat, and exhale and bow deeply. Pressing from your feet up into the fingertips, and exhale, arms by your sides. Bring the hands behind the back, interlock the fingers, and then step your right foot back. And as you descend, the front thigh lift up through the heart. So you're going to feel those 2 points counter each other. Back leg stays strong. Inhale a breath. And as you're ready, exhale and bow forward, releasing the crown of the head toward the floor. Let your sitting bones open wide, just like they did in cow pose, and that'll help you come down a little bit deeper. Now coming up, placing the hands on the floor, lift your back heel, and then lower down, again either to your elbows or to the block. Hugging your leg in if necessary, and just releasing deeply into this hip stretch. Try not to resist or judge, just be where you are and relax with your breath. Inhale, coming up, Stepping your back foot forward, exhale and bow. Inhale, reaching up. And exhale, arms to your sides. Bring your hands to your hips and open the chest. And then you're going to step wide to the side of your mat. Make sure your feet are still in Tadasana so the big toes are in and the heels are apart. Your tail is long and your tummy is lifted. And then inhale, stretch the arms up to the sky at the same time as you reach down into your legs, so feel that connection. Then exhale the arms by your sides. Press into the feet, stretching the arms out so they're parallel to the floor. Feeling star pose here. Legs reaching from the navel, arms stretching out from the heart. Following your breath. And feeling that connection from your arms into your center, from your legs into your center, and then back out again. And then that connection from your head to your tail. Place your hands in your hip creases. We're going to bow forward from the groin here so that the groins grow deep, the sitting bones move back, and lower down just so that your upper body is parallel to the floor. Feeling the reach of your legs, and then slowly place your hands down on the sticky mat. Come onto the tips of your fingers, much like cow pose again. The heart comes forward, the sitting bones back. Feeling your breath. And then exhale, soften the knees, bowing again, more like frightened cat. Inhale, extend, opening into cow. And exhale, bend and round, frightened cat. Straighten the legs, finding cow once again, letting it get deeper, the groins move back more. Finding your extension from your head into your tail. Now take your hand to the center of the mat, moving it a little to the right, and then take your left hand to your lower back to find the alignment from your head to your tail. From right underneath your hand, you're going to slowly turn to the right, turning from your lower back, and then your navel, and then your heart, and then the crown of the head. So moving the entire spine equally, being sure to tack your left sitting bone back. Feeling a steady breath, and with each exhalation moving a little deeper into the pose, even trying to lengthen a little bit more on the left side. As you exhale, turn back to center. Place your right hand where your left one was and your left hand to the lower back. Feeling your hand press against the sacrum to remind you to start your twist from there. And then slowly moving from the lower back, through the belly, through the heart. Balancing your top shoulder on the bottom. And then feeling your back hip and drawing it back into space so your pelvis is balanced and your spine is in the twist. Nice, steady breath. It's good to be on your fingertips here, otherwise the spine tends to collapse. So you exhale, turn toward the floor, and notice that you can bow more deeply here. Bring your hands to your hips, hug your shoulders away from the floor, and inhale, coming up. And slowly stepping to the front of your mat, finding Tadasana once again. Bring your hands to prayer, and find a steady breath. Feeling your body from head to tail, feeling the space between the poses, and now exhale the arms by your sides. Keep checking in on how the body is feeling. And now begin to press your left foot into the floor as you draw your right knee up. It's moving in balance to the left leg getting more grounded. The left leg connects to the earth, the right leg can get lighter. Holding there, create a gentle lift in the tummy, and then slowly kicking the heel out. Feeling that continuity from the push of the left foot all the way out through the right heel. The tummy is lifted and the chest is not collapsed. Bend the knee and stretch the arms up to the sky. As you exhale, lowering down 1, 2, and 3. Arms by your sides. Now feel your right leg moving into the earth, the foot getting more grounded. And then as you're ready, the left leg will naturally lighten, drawing it up, holding underneath the thigh, lifting through the belly and the chest. Keep grounding through the right foot. Finding your balance here from your core, steadying the gaze. As you're ready, reaching the left foot out from the groundedness of the right foot, feeling a continuity in the energetic lines from your legs, into your head, into your tail, so all things are connected. Slowly rebend the knee and extend the arms up. And then exhale and lower down. Release the arms by your sides. And pause. Now begin to bend the right leg up and turn from your hip, placing your foot to the inner thigh. And feel an equal push from your left thigh into the sole of your right foot, so one isn't more dominant. Also notice the 3 variations here. Taylor has her foot resting on the ankle, and Jay has his foot resting on the shin. So do the one that seems appropriate for you for your hip flexion. Now stretching into your left leg, reach the arms up. Steadying the breath. Draw your knee back to center, and then exhale, lowering down. You can bring your arms to your sides and pause. As your right leg reaches down, the left leg will come up, turn at the hip, and place the foot wherever is appropriate for you. Just make sure you're not resting your foot on your knee. That's a very mobile joint. You don't want to damage the knee joint. As you're ready, you can press more deeply into your right foot. And then inhale and take the arms up. Turn your knee back to center and slowly lower down. Release the arms to your sides. Relax into your feet, reconnecting to earth. Notice the balance of your breath. After each pose, be sure to go inward and notice how you're feeling, and the best indicator of that is your breathing. Now bring your hands to your hips and step your feet a little wider apart, going into awkward chair pose. Notice how we're flexing the hips first, so we're sitting very deeply into the pose, and then from there letting the knees bend and the ankles flex. Keeping the weight in the heels, you can lift the toes a little bit so that you know the weight is shifted back, and then extend the arms out so that they're parallel to the floor. Tummy is lifted, the chest is open. As you exhale, you can sit a little more deeply into that awkward chair. And then press from your feet. Inhale, take the arms up and release them by your sides. Stretch the arms straight out and take your right arm over your left, wrapping at the elbows, the wrists, and let the palms touch each other. As you inhale, stretch the fingertips up toward the ceiling, and as you exhale, draw the elbows toward the floor, getting some more mobility in the shoulder blades. So feel the sensation of your shoulder blades sliding against the rib cage. As you inhale, reaching up. As you exhale, stretch down. Now keeping the arms wrapped, sit deep into your awkward chair. Feeling the cow pose that's here. Sitting bones wide, and then press into your feet and release the arms. Wrapping the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, pressing down. Inhale, stretching up. And exhale down. And you can notice that one of Taylor's challenges is her shoulder flexibility, so she's not able to wrap the arms completely. In time, with practice and patience, she'll be able to open the shoulders enough to feel comfortable in the pose. And press into the feet. Inhale, take the arms up, and exhale, arms by your sides. We'll be moving toward the floor sequence of our practice and forward bends. Notice that Jay and I both have blankets to help with our variations. Inhale, take the arms up, and exhale, bowing forward. Inhale, extend your spine, and exhale, bend the knees, flatten the palms. On an inhalation, take your left foot back, and then your right, stretching into downward dog, and finding your connection from hands to tail. You might bend the knees a bit here to lengthen the spine once again, keeping that rotation in your pelvis, straighten the legs, lifting all 10 toes. And then on an inhalation, take your right foot forward, moving into down dog split. One straight line of energy from your right hand up through the right heel. Feeling the strength of your arms, reach of your leg. Placing that foot on the floor, and then switching, taking your left leg up, feeling space pulling on the heel, so it's as if you're reaching into something. Feel a connection from your heel to the sky and from your hands to the earth. And bend your knees and take a moment and rest in pose of the child. Finding your steady breath, relaxing your spine, using this rest time to prepare for the next poses. Coming forward, if you're using a blanket, place it right in the center of your mat, and then reach back into downward dog. Notice the two different variations here. Jay and I are coming into pigeon pose from down dog split, where Taylor is just drawing her knee forward. For all of us, the knee will be drawn to the right side of the mat, and perhaps taking your foot up just a little further to enhance the stretch of the right hip. Resting here until the hip begins to relax some, and then when you feel inspired, begin to lower down onto your elbows and waiting there for a moment. Turn your left arm in so that you're resting clearly on the forearm, and then take your right hand to your lower back. From here, we're going to go into a twist, twisting again from where the hand is, the sacrum, through the navel, through the heart, and stacking the top shoulder directly on the bottom. Finding the breath with each exhalation, relaxing your right hip closer to the blanket, closer to the floor. Coming back to center, taking the arms straight, pushing into the floor to get your reach into downward dog. On your next inhalation, either taking the left leg up into down dog split or sliding it forward for simple pigeon. And in all variations, you want to draw the knee toward the left side of the mat to tucking your right knee under a bit, and then waiting there for the hip to relax. If you're finding that this stretch is too intense for your hip, then don't take the knee quite as wide. Folding forward and resting there. Breathing into the release, and then taking your right forearm, pressing down into the right forearm, left hand to the lower back, and begin the revolve from the lower spine to the middle spine, all the way up through the crown of your head, trying to find that continuity or the length of the energetic field from your tail to your crown. Remembering to breathe as you inhale and receive, and exhale and strengthen. You can deepen the pose on your exhalation. Turning back to center, straightening the arms. Feel the press of the hands and the reach into downward dog. Lowering to your knees and resting again in pose of the child. And now getting ready to sit up, sitting on your heels. Putting a little weight back into the heels to stretch out the tops of the feet. Using your breath, relaxing into the tops of the feet as you exhale. And coming onto your side and swing the legs out ahead of you. And take your blanket and put it behind you so that you're sitting on the very edge of the blanket. Take hold of your sitting bones and draw them back. Make sure you're not sitting on the top of the blanket, but almost as if you're falling off the very edge. And that'll give you a bit of a lift in your pelvis. Now let your knees bend and draw the pubic bone down in the same rotation you'd make in cow pose. Place your hands by your sides. Keep the lift in the lower back and your pubic bone moving down toward the earth. And then if it feels right for you, you can begin to straighten your legs. First one, and then the other. If you notice that your lower back rounds, then keep the knees bent and work on the pelvic rotation. Finding your breath in Dandasana, staff pose. Make sure the feet are still in Tadasana so the toes are broad, the heels are reaching. Connecting again from your head to your tail and your tail to your heels. Nice, steady breath. On an inhale, raise the arms up and folding forward for tall Paschimottanasana, tall forward bend. So here we're not going to actually fold our head toward our knees, but we're going to reach our head from our tail. The tail reaches down toward the blanket and the crown of the head up toward the sky. Getting the length in the lower back and working on that subtle rotation in your pelvis. As you come forward, you're going to bring your pubic bone closer to the floor and let your tailbone reach back behind you. Inhale, coming up. Hold the outsides of your knees to let them open wide and bring the soles of your feet together. Readjusting your seated position so that your sitting bones are back. And then take hold of your ankles with your hands and rest your elbows on the insides of the knees, lengthening the heart forward. So try not to round in this pose, but think of your extension from head to tail. You can use the weight of your forearms and elbows to lengthen the inner leg and draw the knees a little closer to the floor, but be gentle here. Try not to judge or resist or assume that you should be somewhere you're not. Just relax into the pose with a steady, even breath. On an inhale, coming up, stretching out your left leg and folding your right leg back for head to knee pose. Very similar to full forward bend, press down into your sitting bones, lengthen up through the crown of the head, adjusting your pelvis if need be, and then inhale, extend the arms up, and folding forward. Take your heart or even your chin toward your big toe, and reach back with your right sitting bone. So it's as if that's your point of stability, the right sitting bone, and the heart stretches forward toward the toes. Stabilizing the pelvis will allow you to mobilize the spine. Long and steady breaths as you lengthen the inner thigh, remembering the press of your elbow against the inner knee, and use that understanding to lengthen it on your own. Inhale, coming up. Straighten both legs again, finding Dandasana. Feel that pelvic tilt, bringing the pubic bone toward the floor. Straighten the arms without changing the shape of the pelvis. Straighten the legs as if they were standing on the floor in Tadasana. Full, steady breath. Inhaling the arms up and exhaling, folding forward. This time you can reach to the outsides of your feet and again find that length from head to tail, bringing your lower belly closer to your upper thigh. Now if you notice, Jay's pose is still very upright because he's working on the opening in his pelvis. No need to bring your head towards your knee because all you'll be doing is rounding your back. We want the rotation and the opening to happen in the hips. Be patient and compassionate. If it feels natural and that your body is folding in half, bringing your lower belly to the thighs, then you can rest your head down on your knees. But if there's a rounding in the upper back, it's not necessary. Coming up, bending the knees out to the sides again for Baddha Konasana. Resting your elbows in the inner knees and let the knees open wide like a butterfly. Lengthening out of the pelvis. Bring your chin toward your toes, getting an extension in the front of your spine here. Notice that no one in this sequence has a rounded back because we're learning how to reach from the front of the spine. Inhale, coming up, and this time extending out your right leg and folding the left leg back for head to knee pose. Rolling the sitting bones back, making sure you're on the very edge of your blanket. Find that lift in the spine from head to tail, and then begin to fold forward, taking the pubic bone toward the floor and the heart toward your toes. You want to make sure that the left sitting bone is tacked back. That's your anchor, your stability. And then from there, reaching forward, chin to toes. Your left sitting bone is getting light. You're not truly deeply in the pose. Tacking it down, feeling it reach into the earth, and then exhaling more deeply into the pose. And then inhaling and coming up, placing the hands behind you, stretching both legs straight. Make sure your fingertips are turned in toward your sitting bones and then fold your shoulders back. We're going to warm up the back for our back bending sequence. So you draw the shoulders back, let the heart lift, and take the pubic bone toward the floor. This is very similar to the same way we hold the spine in cow pose. Pubic bone moving back as the heart reaches forward. Breathing into the top of the chest. If you can, stretch your toes toward the front of the mat. And then coming up. And release. Coming into Dandasana one more time, feeling that long chain of energy from the crown of your head to your tail and from your tail to your heels. And now preparing for our back bending and inversion section of our practice. Make sure you have 2 blankets by your side, as we'll use them for both back bending and inversions. Take your blankets and open them into a wide square, lining the folded edge up with the top of your mat and the fringed edge toward your buttocks. Depending on your neck flexibility, you can use 1, 2, or 3 blankets. Lie back so that your head is on the floor and your shoulders are about a fist deep off the edge of the blanket. Turn your palms up and place your feet into Tadasana, but with your knees bent. Notice your breath as you relax into the mat. Begin to turn the palms so that the thumb reaches down toward the floor and just observe what that does to your shoulder. Feel any fluctuation in your breathing. And now begin to turn the palms down, let the elbows free, and take your shoulder off the floor. Notice what happens to the center of your chest. Now turn the palms up. Rotate the elbow and press the back of your shoulder into the floor. Can you feel your heart lifting, moving you into a mini back bend? Exhale, bring the palms down, release the elbow, draw the shoulders together in front of your chest. There's a gentle release or collapse in the heart, a resting period. Then turn the palms up, elbows, shoulders pressing down, the heart lifting, the back of the neck extending. Finding how each position changes your breath. Palms down, free the elbows, release the shoulders, relax the heart. Lift the palms, rotate the elbows, push the shoulders down, and expand the heart. Warming up through the shoulder girdle here, preparing to come into bridge pose. So now with the chest open and the backs of the shoulders on the floor, we'll lift the pelvis up and stretch the knees over the ankles. Now pressing the shoulders down and extending the back of the neck, drawing your chin towards your chest. As you exhale, release down, turn the palms toward the floor, and relax the shoulders. Feel the expansion as you lift up into bridge, opening the heart, expanding the shoulders, extending the neck, and feel the condensing as you bring the palms to the floor, relax the shoulders, and deepen the heart. And now inhale, lifting. And we're going to hold the expansion here, bringing the hands together behind the back, interlocking the fingers and drawing the upper arm bones closer together, feeling the lift in the chest. There are a couple of variations you can do here. We can see Jay just having the palms turned open like we did before, pressing the shoulders down as he works on his shoulder flexibility. We look at Taylor, she can bring her hands a little closer together and take the strap over her wrists for a little resistance. That's going to help her lift the chest even more. Do the variation you feel most comfortable with, and you can change from day to day which pose you'll choose. Always remembering to allow the neck to extend, draw the chin toward the chest, and feel the balance of the knees moving over the ankles and the heart moving toward the chin. Slowly release as you exhale, and rest there. Notice any changes in your shoulders, any fluctuations in your breath. And now we'll move to inversions, taking the legs up, pressing the soles of your feet up toward the ceiling. We can do several variations here. As you see with Taylor, she's slid a block underneath her back so that she can do supported bridge. Jay and I are coming into Halasana, so you can press into the floor and swing the feet overhead, placing your hands on your lower back and pushing the lower back up toward the sky, toward the tailbone, to create a straighter spine. The same sensation of pressing the shoulders down we found in bridge pose we need here in plow pose. See if you can release your toes onto the floor. And then if you feel ready, you can take one leg up and then the other, or you can stay in plow pose as Jay is doing, opening the lower back. Taylor's now taking both legs up as she does supported shoulder stand on the block. In all cases, we're still feeling our head to tail and tail to heel connection. Coming out of shoulder stand, release the feet to the floor. Bring the arms down behind you, and then use your abdominal strength, perhaps with a softer knee, and slowly lower down. As soon as your legs touch the floor, press down into your elbows and lift the heart, bringing the crown of your head toward the floor. That same movement in the spine from pubic bone to the heart as we found in cow pose, we need to find here too. So the pubic bone is rolling down toward the earth as the heart is lifting up. Extending the crown of the head toward the floor to feel a beautiful stretch in the neck. Exhale and release down. Turn the palms up and notice how you're feeling. These pauses are where we find the nectar of the practice, where all of the benefits come together. Slowly bend your knees into your chest and give them a hug. Release any tension you might be feeling in your lower back. Plow pose and shoulder stand can be very intense on the lower back muscles. They tend to be very tight. You can hold on to your knees and move in half circles. And then bend your right knee into your chest and reach through your left heel, exactly the way we started the entire practice. Switching legs. And then hugging both legs in. Release the arms out to the sides and let your knees drop to one side, resting there for a supine spinal twist. Notice if you're holding or arching your lower back, and exhale, release it, let it round. To get a little deeper stretch, you can place your hand on your knee and put a little weight on the top knee, or just rest there and let gravity do its work. On an inhale coming up, let your knees drop to the other side. Feel a balance between the weight of your knee and your shoulder. It's nice to keep the shoulder on the floor and let the knees drop as they will. Inhale, coming back to center, releasing the legs. And then scoot yourself down so that your shoulders are off the blanket and your head is resting on, as we prepare for deep relaxation. Begin to relax your limbs from your spine. Feel your legs as they hang from the pelvis, your shoulders, relaxing away from the shoulder girdle. Find your long, slender breath as it moves from the crown of your head to the tip of your tail. Hearing the sound of your inhalation and your exhalation. Allow the breath to deepen, like a wave pulling into the body and receiving as you inhale, and emptying as you exhale. During deep relaxation, it's a time for our body to assimilate all the new information that it's gotten over the practice. Your cells are changing. Your chemistry is changing, and the body's wisdom is incorporating these changes as you rest deeply. There's no need to do anything at all here, but just be open, be receptive, letting go completely. The mind begins to race. Just reconnect to the flow of your breath. Perhaps moving a little deeper now. finding that part of you that's restful, peaceful. That silent aspect of yourself that reveals when you're deep in a relaxed state. And begin to deepen your breath. Feel a gentle movement in your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees into your chest and rock gently side to side. And then as you feel ready, rolling to one side and slowly coming up to a comfortable cross-legged position, preparing for your meditation practice. Sitting up tall, drawing your sitting bones back and feeling the connection from your head to your tail. Observe a slow, steady rhythm of breath as you inhale and receive, and exhale and strengthen. During this time, make a commitment to yourself that you won't move, but instead you'll observe any desire to move, that you'll be still outside as well as inside. Now begin to observe the breath at the top of your lip. Feel the cool sensation as you inhale, and feel its warmth as you exhale. Allow that to be the anchor for your mind. Thoughts come up as they will. The mind is meant to think, that's its job. But as the thoughts arise, you have a place to ground yourself, and that's at your upper lip. That's through your breath. You can allow the thoughts to lift and fall, just as if you're observing someone else's thoughts. No need to attend to them. Just be with your breath. Let what's happening in the now become more apparent as you open up your ears to the sounds around you, hearing clearly the sound of my voice, the sounds of your breath, the sound of your immediate environment, as well as the sounds in the far distance. Try not to judge or identify any of the sounds, just let them come and go. Just as you let the thoughts lift and fall. Returning to the lift and fall of your inhale and exhale. Notice where your mind is at the moment and bring it back to your breath. Begin to feel a sense of internal space as you move away from the thinking mind. Connect to a deeper source in your body. Feel the elongation of your spine from head to tail, making sure the spine is tall and the body is peaceful. And then slowly, as you're ready, you can begin to deepen your breath, and with a heavy eyelid, opening the eyes, and then stretching the legs. Try to hold on to this peaceful, internal place for the remainder of your day.